it sort of it makes it much lighter, and actually it solves one of the problems which I was going to bring up, which is as soon as the long notes start.
Today is the workshop stage of the National Centre for Early Music's Young Composers Competition, which is organised in association with BBC Radio 3. We have two categories, the up to 19 and then 19 to 25. We have a wonderfully imaginative response to the challenge that we're setting them, which is to write music for voices, unaccompanied voices, in 5 parts. But today we're workshopping the 7 strongest entrants. Each composer has the possibility of talking about how they want the piece to be performed, their aspirations for it, things to make it sound even better.
It's wonderful to hear one's music done so well, obviously by such a great group as the Eagle Singers, and to have the support and the advice of excellent professionals such as Christopher. It's about having a good recording, getting a bit of exposure, getting to meet some other people, and for me to still feel like I'm developing and getting an opportunity to improve the music that I'm writing, having been out of college for some time now.
It's completely invaluable to be here, actually, to be able to hear this, because I think it's hearing it that means the most to me, to be able to improve what I'm doing and to understand what I'm writing and to understand difficulties and to take away from this just maybe odd moments that I really want to hold on to, and other ones where I know that that's something I would change for next time. So it would be lovely to win, but today is just wonderful.
I've been in a lot of competition finals, but I haven't won anything outright. It would mean a lot, because it would prove that what I'm doing is on the way. And I mean, actually, getting to the final is a good step, because I'm in 80-odd entrants.
The inspiration was really the text, I suppose. It's a very dark text about, you know, the night time coming in and all the stars and the planets, and there's a very striking phrase, the coldness of the stars. And I suppose the harmony that I've used kind of counters that. It's very warm, it's very tonal, very diatonic. I mean, it is a composer's dream to have their music performed, and I would love to win, absolutely love to win, but to have got to this stage for the second time, I'm absolutely delighted all the same.
BBC Radio 3 takes its commitment to new music and indeed to young performers very, very seriously. It's very proud of the input that it actually puts into this area. And so to be associated with a competition like this, I think is extremely important. I think it really does show our commitment to young composers, to new music. It's not often that young composers working away from home, they might have the chance for some sort of mechanical means for playing back their music, but to actually have some kind of live performance where they can get feedback and they can work together on this is a rare opportunity. I think it's a great thing for them to have. It's really exciting to have such a fantastic array, such an amazingly imaginative array of music from such young people, remarkably creative. At the same time, it's rather sort of like daunting, actually, knowing that from this group of young compositions, we've got to actually pull 2 winners. It's not an enviable task.
Well, I write entirely pen and paper, and I can hear it in my head, but I've never heard it live, so it was really nice, and it worked really well, better than I thought it would.
It's always lovely, actually, the first time you hear a piece being done, and which is why it's so great, actually, to have the chance to just spend 20 minutes working with the choir. And it's actually been great listening to other people's music as well, because it's not often in a rehearsal situation with a choir that you get to hear other people's attitudes to the choir, and to hear other people's music being sung has also been fascinating.
I'm looking for an inspiring piece of music. I mean, I've got to conduct it, and I want to have something to really to latch onto, something that there's some deeper meaning behind the notes, and they've got to find a style that's convincing. And we're going to hear them all these 7 pieces, and then judge which is going to be the best in the 2 categories, and eventually I will conduct the Tallis Scholars in those 2 winning pieces in Chester Cathedral.
It is quite extraordinary, isn't it, to have such a gift, to have the instrument that is the Tallis Scholars at your disposal, and to get the BBC to record it all in one. And we are deeply grateful to partners and those who fund it and everything else. Thank you. I guess the most important bit is who's actually won. And on the younger category, we're absolutely delighted to award the prize to somebody who we think has thought very much about the Tallis Scholars as an instrument. And we're delighted to offer our first prize to Owen. And then the prize for the older category, we are again absolutely delighted to offer that to Alexander Campkin.
I think it's vitally important that Chester Summer Music Festival works with, for instance, the National Centre for Early Music and BBC Radio 3. And our organisations come together to effectively sponsor the writing of new music. And this competition, which the National Centre for Early Music has put on, is a great way of getting young composers to write new music. And that new music is going to, is the music that we're going to hear in generations and decades to come.
The mix of that partnership with BBC Radio 3 and the Tallis Scholars is the bit which attracts all those young composers in the first place. But what they really want to do at the end of all that lot is hear their piece in such an amazing environment as is Chester Cathedral. And when you hear it tonight, it's stunning, because it wanders around this gorgeous space and you begin to understand why they've written it this way. They've really thought about what is that instrument that is the Tallis Scholars and in what space will that music be performed, and they've done remarkably well.
Well, it's something that's staying on my biography notes for quite a long time. Lots of people have heard about the competition. When I say that I won, they was like, "Oh, really? Tell me more." And it's quite a big thing. I've got a real confidence in the Tallis Scholars. It just sounds amazing. I've seen them live before, got their CDs, and actually hearing that sound so up close and in person, singing my music it's just amazing. So I've got every confidence it's going to be wonderful, and I hope that the audience enjoy it as well. It's that feeling of having your music
performed. And I'm sort of thinking more about how it will inspire me to do more composing and that kind of thing and enter more competitions.
Watching a composition going from the very initial thoughts that I have in my head, which are just sort of figments of sound imagined, as it then steps up to a reality of the first time I try it on the piano. I then put it into a computer, it becomes the finished object. To then hear it in the first rehearsal, it suddenly comes to life. The thing becomes real, it exists, it gains a tangible quality. So it's a very, very magical time for me. I think one's career as a composer is a slow burn process, and I think what one has to do is get more and more performances, more and more prizes, more commissions. So I'm very happy with the fact that the Tallis Scholars are performing my piece. I'm very happy by that, and to win the competition is very exciting.